Hi everybody and welcome to the Always in Season podcast. I'm your host James Golding and today I'm joined by the amazing Alice Fevronia. Alice, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you here. Alice was a finalist on the Great British Bake Off in 2019. You're a baker, content creator, food personality that's celebrated for decorative skills and inventive flavour combinations. You won Star Baker twice on the show, and most recently you've been judging the Great Taste Awards as well as teaching Kate and William how to pipe.
Yep.
Alice, great to have you on the show. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are
Good.
you?
I'm very well. I'm very well. So obviously you are a Maple Syrup Ambassador as well.
I'm very proud of that. Yeah.
Oh, and we had a lovely time in Canada.
You did?
What was your favourite bit about Canada? What's your takeaway? What was your memory?
The day where we spent the whole day tasting maple syrup and maple products,
Right.
from literally watching it being taken out the tree to produced into syrup, was so cool. I actually was quite astounded at just how much you could eat.
Oh, right. Well, there we go. You've heard it from Alice. I should take up food competition eating. But
Yeah.
obviously, you've had an amazing journey up till now. Can you tell us a little bit about your times as a geography teacher to obviously Bake Off and to now? I mean, it sounds incredible.
Yeah, so I think it's all been a bit of a happy accident. I was a reserve, so I was never really meant to be on the show, and I only got on at the very last minute.
Really? Right.
So it was a bit of a surprise, and I sometimes still have to be like, oh yeah, actually I was on Bake Off.
Yeah.
And it's days like today when I'm, obviously sort of very proud of everything that's happened. I've always baked, I've always loved baking. I learned from my grandma,
Right.
and I loved the creative side of things, and that's sort of why I went towards baking rather than cooking, because you can decorate a cake.
Yeah.
And I definitely eat with my eyes. And then I would at uni, I would bake my friends' birthday cakes. When I was practicing for Bake Off, I loved working in school because kids do not have a filter. And they were like, yeah, it's not good. It's not good, miss. So they were actually quite helpful. But yeah, so I went on the show and got to the final, and everything sort of kicked off.
Amazing.
From there.
And what was your highlight on the show? I mean, there must be something that's stuck in your mind, the best thing that happened and the worst thing that happened.
Yeah, so I get asked this a lot, and it's always the things that happen off camera.
Right.
The bits that you can't really sort of
You're not allowed to talk about.
explain. You can, but there was one day and we'd all done quite well, so no one was feeling sort of pretty depressed about going home, and the technical had just happened. It was a beautiful sunny day. One of the producers put some music on, and we actually just danced around the tent eating cake. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's great. So, I mean, obviously you've done some amazing things. The Bake Off was incredible. What was it like being with William and Kate? How did that happen? I mean, how did that come about?
Again, I think it was just right place, right time, and
I need to get you through my lottery numbers, lad. So, and this would be
they were so lovely. They were actually, really involved in. So we were making some cakes for the NHS's 75th birthday.
Okay, right.
And I was told to prepare some buttercream in piping bags, and then I was going to teach them how to pipe.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not chill. I've never been chill. And when they walked in, my brain just stopped working. So trying to teach them how to pipe when I was like, do I know how to pipe? I don't know where I am right now. But it was all fine. And it was just quite funny because Prince William was not very good.
I was going to say, how did they do? Was it a mess or was it?
It was a mess.
It was a mess.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
Kate was pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, she was good, but she has skills.
Very cool. Very cool. So obviously you spoke about where your love for baking kind of began, but you also been recovering from scoliosis surgery, right? I mean, how did that all sort of happen?
So when I was about 15, I was diagnosed with scoliosis and had surgery. And it's actually, I think I was thinking about it, and it's, how during lockdown, everyone had a lot of time and so many people started baking.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't really do much after my operation, and so I had a lot of time. Yeah. And the sort of creative aspects of baking, painting got me through.
Right.
And I just got into it. I already sort of liked it, but life's busy when you're doing exams at school, and there's you want to hang out with your friends, and that's the baking took a back seat. And when I couldn't do those things, I got really into it.
Right.
And it sort of took off from there.
It's quite cool, isn't it? I mean, you know, we were just talking before the show about, you know, your back and my foot and all this sort of stuff. But I think when you're in that sort of position and you're out of work or you're resting up from some sort of major surgery, your brain kind of goes crazy, doesn't it? And you start to think about stuff that you could do or stuff that you wanted to do in the past and you never did. And I suppose it's actually, although it's probably usually quite depressing when you're in that sort of situation, it gives you that motivation if you're able to actually start doing that and actually become quite good. I mean, it's a strange part of life, isn't it? Reflection and
I think I was just so desperate to be productive in some way.
yeah.
And obviously when you told you can't, so I used to do lots of sport and then being told you can't do that, so that I need to find something else I can enjoy. And I think I found like baking is quite therapeutic and quite calming.
Yeah, a lot of people say that.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about lockdown, everybody just suddenly started by, you know, making bread, didn't they? I mean, I think we ran out of flour in some parts of the country.
I had my.
Did you?
I had it covered. Yeah.
Oh, did you? I remember I started making sourdough, as did everybody else, and I thought we had a problem down by us that there was a lack of flour, and I thought maybe I'd phone up Richard Burton and see if he could bring some down, but I thought I probably would get stopped coming all the way back from Bath with a big bag of flour.
I just made friends with the local baker, and I was like, please, please send me some. Yeah.
So obviously, you know, you're amazing at what you do. You've done some incredible things in the world of baking. But who is your kind of inspiration? Who are the people who, you know, you look on Instagram and see those people doing amazing things? Do you have any people like that you really sort of admire?
Yeah. So I was thinking about this the other day. So I think it's sort of opposite ends of the spectrum. There's people. I'm probably going to butcher the pronunciation, but like Amory Quichon.
Yeah.
You know, the crazy, huge chocolate displays, or Cedric Grolet. And then there'll be sort of bakers from my hometown or where I grew up, and they just run small businesses, but they are the most beautiful, most intricate cakes I've ever seen. And I find those just as beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I was chatting to someone the other day about this, right? When I was a kid, I mean, we used to go out on a Saturday morning, we go to the shops, we go onto the high street, we buy our bread, we buy our fish, we buy our meat, whatever it was from the different shops. And the bakery was the place where you go in and the first thing you did was you could smell, you know, all the different produce in there. And also as a kid, you know, you'd have it all in those glass display cabinets, wouldn't you? And you'd be able to choose. But now, I mean, I think it's quite difficult to find a really good bakery on the high street. And I think, you know, those people that are doing it really well, like you say, you know, in local areas, I think they should be supported. I mean, is that something which you're a big advocate of, local bakeries?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very good at finding really delicious pistachio croissants around where I live. Pistachio croissants, yeah. I think, you know, people do love to bake, but there are some things where you just need to go to a really good bakery and get really good quality homemade.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, you know, you've been on Great British Bake Off, and would you say that experience has now sort of like refined your style, as in what you do, or is that still something that you work on, or something that evolves throughout time? Yeah,
I think I never like to do the same thing twice. Well, a couple of things. I might use the same base recipe, but then I'll decorate it a different way or use a different filling. Or I think, that's the joy of it, is just continually trying to try new things and be better.
I know. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? I mean, as sort of people that are into food, it's usually a combination of what you've eaten and what you've seen, and sometimes a little bit of research and also trial and error, I suppose. But we're going to go back to our trip to Canada. We're going to go back to earlier this year. I mean, obviously, it was amazing. It was really, really cool.
Good.
We were the first two at the airport, weren't we?
Yep.
To be fair.
Yeah.
And
like 6:30 in the morning.
it was, nice and early after that long drive. But I think for me, Canada was. Apart from those trips where you get to meet people and you form, you know, great friendships and great relationships with people, I think that the biggest thing about what I got out of it was the fact that, you know, the sugar shacks that we went to, most of the people there that were producing the maple syrup tended to be a family or like, you know, pops and son or whatever it is. And I really felt that kind of connection with, you know, the family to the products. And when we were out there, we also saw so many different products. What products did you think were the ones that you brought back here and said, well, I'm going to use that in my baking?
So I was quite impressed with the maple. I know you like the maple butter.
I did, yes.
But how it's just syrup, but whipped to a certain, I think, a certain temperature, and you whip it, and I do love maple butter. I think it's what you were saying about when you actually see it being made, as opposed to just seeing it on a supermarket shelf, being made by these families, and it's part of their traditions and cultures, and they put so much love and care and time into it.
Yeah.
And then when you're using the product at home, it feels, having been there, it feels more special to use it.
Yeah. Because I suppose your mind goes back to that place, doesn't it, really, when you use it?
I'm always in the supermarket checking, like, is it pure? Yeah, okay, good.
I was actually out in Italy recently. I managed to find some pure Canadian maple syrup, and we, as you know, we've got a little place over in northern Tuscany in Pozzo there, and I did some maple glazed wings for these Italians. I don't know that they were ready for it, but they absolutely loved them. I mean, it was bringing that sort of style, that Northern American style, to a sleepy town in Tuscany. So I think, you know, as long as the product's right and it's tasty and it's got good quality, everybody loves it, right? I mean, it's
so versatile. I think because I did feel, obviously I was the only baker, everyone else was a chef, and we had so many of those meals where there was, you know, like 3 starters, mains, puddings with maple, and I was like, wow, it's so versatile. Yeah, you can use it with so many different things and the different products and things.
Well, I mean, we had the bacon, which we were just talking about.
You did.
Well, I ate most of it. I didn't really leave much for anybody else. So for those of you that may have seen a couple of our reels from our time in Canada, we had this incredible smoked bacon, didn't we, pork? And then they cooked it over charcoal. They put this sort of, what was it, like a chili sort of spice rub over the top. Yeah. And they got it super crispy with a little bit of burnt bits, which is quite nice, isn't it? That little bitterness. And then you basically put a load of maple butter on it and ate it.
You were meant to just dip it in, and you were like using it as a shovel to get as much.
You know, if you're going to do it, you might as well do it properly. Yes, I mean, this is you know, it was, I did have maybe 1 or 2 more than I had. I think I had about...
You had 8.
Really? I thought you said 9, but I'll go with 8. 8's good. 8's good. But that's just a classic example, right? I mean, we know that you can put maple into barbecue and stuff like that, but something so simple, and I'm going to use that on my recipe when I do one. So we won't talk too much. I don't want to spoil the surprise. Nice. So obviously, actually, should we talk about the ice hockey match? Yeah. Have you ever been to one before?
I didn't think I was going to enjoy it. Not going to lie, not my thing.
You didn't look like you're too excited when we walked out there.
No, I was like, I don't like football. I don't really like watching sports. And I thought I'd sort of feel a bit out of place, because I wouldn't go to a football match.
You were basically the complete opposite to Dean. Dean was like he was going to Disneyland, and you were like you were going to like. I
was wearing my scarf, like okay. Yeah. And then I loved it, and I didn't feel out of place at all. There were so many people. Yeah, it was just wild. There was drama. Yeah, there was a lot of drama. So much drama.
There was a lot of punch-ups.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was like, fight. And I was like, okay.
That's when you started throwing those empty bottles of maple.
It was like it was almost like a performance, as well as a game.
Well, it was almost like a cross between boxing and ice hockey, I found.
I had a great time.
It was great. Lots of fun. Recently, you've been sharing more cooking content. You've got your Bake Alone to Cook series. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yes. So, well, I realised, and do you know what? Partly from hanging out with so many amazing chefs and realising that I'm actually a bit of an embarrassment when it comes to cooking. Because because I will spend all day baking, and then by the time I've cleaned the kitchen, the last thing I want to do in the evening is then make a mess again and get cooking, and I'm tired and So I thought, well, if I integrate cooking into my content, I'm not going to spend as much money on takeaways and eating beans on toast. Right. And actually, it's really fun, and I'm learning a lot, and I get to experiment more. And it's going back to what I was saying about just trying new things. So I'm really enjoying it. Yeah.
That's really cool. And what dishes have you done so far?
So I've done some stuffed pasta shells. I've done like an enchilada, like lasagna type bake. Okay. I've done some Thai chicken meatballs. Yeah. I've done some chicken orzo.
So you know what? So in a professional kitchen, we have obviously the hot kitchen chefs and we have the pastry chefs. Yeah. And what we find within the dynamic of a kitchen is that both of those kind of groups of people have a very, very different approach to what it is that they're cooking. Yeah. So the question I'm asking you is that when chefs like hot kitchen chefs, for example, when they're cooking, there's a lot of sort of tasting going on, a bit of that in there, you know, and then it'll all be done very, very quickly and then put up on the pass, ready to go. Whereas the pastry chefs, everything is measured out, weighed out, made sure that, you know, and they do this at a certain time, that's at a certain time. Did you find that you were?
Yeah, so I found in 2 dishes I've also used piping bags because I'm like, oh no, I just need to pipe it nicely.
Yeah.
And I like things to be colourful and I eat with my eyes and it has to look nice and so I haven't quite got out of that yet. But
That's cool.
But I'm eating better.
Put it this way, I'm not very good at baking, so it's
Yeah, and I'm eating better food nowadays.
Oh, so
good.
That's really cool. That's really cool. So, while this is all going on, and we spoke a bit about this earlier, where you take inspiration for a lot of your content and stuff like that. What sort of baking trends have you seen emerging over the past few years? For the young people out there that might be looking to, do a bit more digging into baking? What would you say is the coolest things you've seen?
I was thinking about this, and actually, because of social media, things change so quickly, and a trend can start from just one, it starts from one person doing something cool that goes viral and other people try it, and then you sort of lost who actually even started it.
Yeah.
And I think we've seen trends with like mixing different bakes together.
Yeah.
So you'll get like, in terms of flavour and also just like the actual, donuts and croissants and, cheesecakes and cookies together. And there's so much like blending of things. And also I like to make things from different countries, but you'll see those things popping up in supermarkets. Like take, for example, the
chocolates.
Well, yes, like the Dubai chocolate trend.
Yeah.
And then, the Japanese style fruit sandwiches, like the sweet fruit sandwiches.
Yeah, so I saw that.
And they were obviously big this year.
Yeah, so a supermarket did them, didn't they, with strawberry and strawberry and cream sandwiches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
did you try one?
I did. I didn't love it.
Really?
No.
I've heard they're very Marmite. You either love them or you don't.
Yeah. I think it was a hot day and the fruit wasn't at its best.
Yeah,
but,
maybe the cream was split and it was a bit tricky.
I love those sorts of, it's nice to have different things. But I would say I'm more of a traditional baker though, and I do love the classics.
Yeah. So obviously I've been watching you cook and say, and you've used the pistachio cream. You use matcha and stuff like that as well. Is that something that you like to use? Or
I have used matcha. Not a massive fan.
It's quite bitter, isn't it?
I make some nice matcha and raspberry biscuits. So sort of mixing flavours and things. But yeah, on its own, not a massive matcha fan.
Okay. So we're going to talk about on your Substack. You have a series where you try to make desserts and bakes from around the world. So why is this so important to you? I mean, obviously, I love world food, I love travel, but you really want to sort of shout about that. But where did that sort of passion for world food and all that come from?
So I think it was a blend of, so obviously I was a geography teacher.
Yeah.
I love learning about the history of and the story of how a bake or a dessert came to be, but also how it became sort of iconic in a country or representative of a certain country. So I love, finding out the origins, which actually are often a lot more messy than you might think.
Yeah.
So I love that side of it. And then also because I do my illustrations and I like to, so I paint whatever I've made, I then paint it and I put it together into like almost like a world map, but it's obviously of desserts.
That's cool.
And also just trying new things, like different countries will have different primary ingredients and techniques and methods and things that I wouldn't necessarily have tried before. I think it's just good to experiment, and it means I'm not just baking the same types of cakes again and again.
And obviously you're doing the illustrations. Tell us a bit more about that, because that sounds amazing. Have you started this into a small business? So
I went to art school when I was a lot younger, and you know what it's like when, well, my dad was like, no, off you go get a proper degree.
Oh, really?
Became a teacher and had no time for art.
Right.
And then got back into it after lockdown, and I really loved it. And I thought, right, I need to do this because I love it so much. So I started baking my cakes so that I could integrate it into what I'm doing. And then people were like, oh, can I buy that? I was like, oh, okay. So I started printing them, and I've got a little sort of illustration business going on. So it's really, I love it.
So where would people find this?
Just on Etsy. Just on my Etsy. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. So just going back to Maple then quickly, obviously we're talking about the different sort of pistachio and those sort of flavors. How do you use maple in your baking? What advice would you give to people that would want to incorporate the different types of maple into cakes and baking?
So, because it's so versatile, and I think, so I gave them to my neighbour, and they were like, oh, what do we, pancakes, porridge, and I was like, well, you can actually put it, as a sugar replacement. Especially as we're getting into sort of cooler months. I think it goes so well with like warm spices and fruits, and just it complements a lot of flavors that you use in baking so well, and add like a real depth of flavor as well as the sweetness. So it's really great to get into baking.
And it's quite interesting how the different sort of the grades of it you can use for different things, and use them also to make more color and stuff like that within it. It's really nice. We were actually at the Abergavenny Food Festival this past weekend, and a lady came up to the stand, and she said she was talking a bit about the alternative sweet products that's sometimes made by bees, and was basically saying what health benefits did maple have externally. And to be honest with you, I didn't really know. So I Googled it, and we were actually reading about how maple can be applied outside to the skin to help with inflammation. And obviously it's got great antioxidant bits in it as well. But you can actually put it on your skin as a topical thing, which actually helps with bruises. I know. Every morning I just put a bit on my face.
I can tell.
Thank you very much, Alice. So good that you noticed. But so I mean, but it's quite interesting, isn't it? I mean, we talk about natural products, and we obviously talk about, how there's a lot of not so natural stuff out there. I mean, you were saying a minute ago about how you go into the supermarkets and look at the bottle. It's amazing how many different ingredients you can get in a bottle of maple syrup that isn't pure, right? I mean, like cornstarch, flavoring, coloring. I mean, anyway, yeah. So
Got to use the pure stuff.
exactly, yeah. So just going back to Bake Off then, right? So at any time in the show, what was the biggest clanger? Or didn't you have one?
For me?
Yeah, for you.
Oh my goodness.
And what did Paul Hollywood say?
So I learned very quickly, because I'd never been on a TV show before.
Right.
I forgot that I had a microphone on.
Oh no, the hot mic.
So you'd obviously just, because there were a couple of cameras, but I didn't know there was someone in the back watching and listening to everything you're saying. So I was having a bit of a nightmare, and so I was talking to the person next to me, just at this volume, thinking no one else can hear me. All of a sudden, like 5 cameras turn up, and I'm like, okay. So I learned very quickly, if you're having a bit of an issue, just do it internally.
Yes.
Don't speak it out loud. And hopefully, obviously, if it looks terrible, people will know. But people might not realize it's going really badly if you don't say it out loud. I had all sorts of problems. Like I forgot to put, I was making like lemon and blueberry hot cross buns. And I think I forgot to put, put them on my recipe list. Right. So I got there, I was like, where are my blueberries? Well, they weren't on the, and I'm like,
did they have it in the title?
Luckily, I think I brought some with me, but just things like that, all the behind the scenes, so much that can go wrong, because it's all quite last minute and chaotic. And
because I suppose, they're filming it live, right? I mean, you're actually doing the competition, and it's not like stop, start, refilm that, or is it a bit of both?
Yeah, obviously they can edit things out. I don't think that ever made it in the show. I actually did set fire to my workbench.
Did you?
Because I was rushing, and I didn't know.
With a blowtorch? Or?
Yeah, I was too flustered, and I forgot to turn it off.
Yeah.
And I was so, it was like, you got 1 minute left. So I just put it down, and then it's just happily burning a hole in my wooden bench.
You know what? I've seen pastry chefs where, when you like glaze things on top of, or say you're doing a brulee and you have it on like some parchment paper. The amount of times I've seen young chefs, using a blowtorch, and suddenly the whole tray is on fire because underneath the parchment paper's caught on fire.
Yeah, so
did someone turn up with a fire extinguisher?
They didn't put that on.
They didn't put it on
TV. No.
Didn't even do it as a blooper.
No, I think maybe it's sort of like really bad health and safety, and all sorts of things. Like I forgot to turn my oven on. I burnt my cakes. It was.
And did you get well with the judges? Because who were the judges that year?
So Paul and Prue.
Yeah.
You don't really get to interact with them that much.
Okay.
So I guess they want to be impartial, and they're not going to sort of bond too much with anyone. So we didn't really spend any time with them that wasn't on camera.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And who was wandering around that year?
So we had Noel and Sandy.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
So Noel,
so
he's a good guy.
He's so lovely.
Yeah.
I love Noel.
Yeah, good guy. So that's honestly amazing, and that's obviously your past. So now, obviously, what are you looking forward to? What's next for Alice? What's happening over the next sort of 6 to 12 months?
So a couple of exciting things, but I can't talk about, which I know is really annoying. But we, Yeah, with the illustrations and things.
Okay.
I'm working on some cool projects, which I'm a bit slow at, but they will get there. But I'm very excited about them. Yeah.
Okay.
So
That's amazing. So watch this space, everybody, for the illustration and the fun stuff to come. But honestly, thank you so much for chatting to me today, Alice. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you. And to our listeners, thanks for joining us. Tune in next time. For all of Alice's details and information, they'll be in the show notes. So please do check those out. And I look forward to seeing you all again in the next episode. Cheers, Alice. Thank you. Over to you. Thanks.